feel like he knows me. He knows me as a fighter and as a person, so it just makes sense to go back. And we've had a little break, and now I'm ready to get back to it.
People don't understand that because, there is such thing. It's all over the country. If you speak to every trainer, that everything has to.
If I'm your coach, I don't want to be your friend. I want to be somebody you think, I'm not going to have a drink. I want to be somebody you fear of finding out.
Daniel Dubois breaks silence on why he really fired Don Charles and why they're reuniting. Daniel Dubois revealed that the split with Don Charles wasn't just professional, it got personal. He explained that Charles had started leaking private conversations and weighing in on personal matters, which created tension and distrust. Now, after reflection and time apart, Dubois feels it's the right moment to move forward, rebuild trust, and return to the corner of someone who knows him inside and out, aiming to get back to his best and chase the glory days once again.
Yeah, you could go with that, yeah. I feel like as the person I am, the character I am, Don is going to be right for me. Don's the right guy, and I'm glad we've made that decision now. It's time to move forward with it. He will help me, I will help myself, and, get back to the glory days.
Don Charles opened up about the split with Daniel Dubois, emphasizing that sometimes these breaks are just part of human nature and the pressures of boxing. He downplayed the drama, insisting it wasn't as extreme as outsiders might think. The reunion shows that both men value their professional bond and are ready to move forward, focusing on trust, alignment, and achieving peak performance together.
This is just human beings in general, men in particular, mankind. So, we've had this little split, myself and Daniel. So they've gone away and they've come back. I don't want to make it into exaggerated situation.
Johnny Nelson explained that Daniel Dubois' father, Stanley, had to make a tough decision when he got involved. Johnny noted that Tony Sims refused to play along, leaving Stanley with no choice but to step in. Dubois returning to Don Charles signals a strategic move. Stanley likely believes this gives Daniel more control over his training environment and ensures Don's guidance aligns fully with his son's best interests.
If Daniel's dad, got involved in any way, shape or form, Tony would say, no, I'm not playing that game. And Stanley knows his son, Daniel, so he'd have said he had to make a decision. I've either got to stay outside, which I can't, or step inside. So for him to go back to Don, it kind of, I love Don, but it kind of tells me that he's probably got more control over Don, or how Don deals.
Dominic Ingley highlighted a harsh reality in boxing, pointing out how fighters are often chosen, used, and then criticized when things go wrong. In Daniel Dubois' case, this resonates strongly. His split and reunion with Don Charles has sparked reactions across the boxing world. Fans, analysts, and insiders are dissecting every move, and many are questioning Dubois' loyalty and decision-making, turning his personal and professional choices into a major talking point.
It's very applicable to boxing. They choose you, fighters choose you. Then they use you to get where they need to be. Then they accuse you when everything goes wrong, and when they've left and gone somewhere else, then they start to abuse you by doing interviews slagging you off. And that happens more times than it doesn't.
Duke McKenzie explained that Daniel Dubois' connection with Don Charles goes deeper than most realize. He knows exactly how Dubois works, how to motivate him, and how to get the best out of his talent. Duke believes letting Don go now would be a huge mistake, as his experience and understanding of Daniel are crucial for rebuilding confidence and pushing him back toward peak performance.
At this point, I think it's about...
Ade Oladipo reflected on the emotional side of the split, noting that Dom was visibly hurt when Dubois left for Tony Sims. He admitted that it wouldn't have been surprising if Dom had refused Dubois' return. However, given Dubois' stature and value in boxing, it made sense for both sides to reconcile, showing that talent, opportunity, and respect ultimately outweighed personal grievances.
A bit I know Dom was hurt by Daniel leaving and going to Tony Sims. So much so that I thought Dom might say, no, you're not coming back. And there's a part of me that was like, it wouldn't be too far-fetched or too crazy if Dom was like, no, it's okay. But obviously, look, Daniel's a big name. Dom wants to train the biggest names in boxing, so why would you not welcome him?
Liam Goff reacted to Daniel Dubois' decision to return to Don Charles, calling it surprising but understandable. He noted that while Dubois is a big name who generates massive revenue, his past behavior sometimes seemed dismissive toward Don Charles. At weigh-ins and in the corner, Dubois didn't always show the respect or seriousness expected, making this reunion a chance to rebuild mutual trust and restore the professional dynamic they once had.
It went too well for Johnny Fisher, but he's now decided to go back to Don Charles. I mean, what is going on here? This is strange, and I don't want to sound harsh on Don Charles. I get it, Daniel Dubois is a big name, he generates a lot of money, but Don Charles was always, like, Daniel Dubois to me at times was almost disrespectful to Don Charles. When you saw them at weigh-ins and stuff like that, he never appeared to really take what Don Charles was saying seriously whenever it was, time.
Counterpunch Boxing criticized fighters who blame external factors for losses, calling it a cop-out. He suggested that in Dubois' situation, personal accountability is key. Fans and analysts agree that returning to Don Charles is more than just a strategic move. It's about discipline, focus, and looking in the mirror to correct mistakes, ensuring that Dubois maximizes his potential and avoids repeating past errors in future fights.
And then they just, hey, you got to pay for it because I lost. I don't think that's cool at all, and in fact, I think that's a cop-out. That's just something to do to save face, to make yourself look good, because you're looking for an excuse why you didn't perform the best of your ability. Sometimes you gotta look in the mirror, and I think and I hope that's what the case was in this situation, but I'm glad to hear news like that.
Chatty the Champ questioned why Daniel Dubois decided to reunite with Don Charles after months apart, highlighting the complexity of their split. Fans and analysts have been debating whether it was a strategic move or an emotional reconciliation. The boxing world knows that Dubois' career had turbulence, and this decision signals maturity, a desire to regain discipline, and the need to align with someone who understands his mindset and can get the best out of him both inside and outside the ring.
Dubois has reverted back to his old coach, Don Charles. Now this was a shock to me, right? It's very confusing. I don't know why he would go back to his old coach. His coach did well for him, of course, won the IBF World Champion with Don Charles, but he left.
Johnny Nelson reflected on the influence of Dubois' father in this reunion, raising the question of who truly made the call. While some blame the father for guiding the decision, Nelson emphasized that sometimes lessons must be learned the hard way. The split and return highlight the balancing act between family, professional guidance, and a fighter's own ambitions, making this a story of growth, accountability, and the complex dynamics behind boxing decisions.
And now, this move back again, whose decision is that? Is that his, or is it his old man's decision? Again, it's not. His old man's taken a lot of stick. His old man's new to the job, in regards to us, in regards to the public. So, and I do feel for him, but sometimes you got to learn.
Johnny Nelson slammed Dubois for partying before the Usyk fight, calling it blatant disrespect toward Don Charles. He argued that Dubois' actions showed a lack of focus, maturity, and understanding of the responsibility a top fighter carries. In world-class boxing, every move is scrutinized, and distractions like pre-fight parties can undermine preparation, discipline, and respect for the team tasked with taking a fighter to the top. Nelson's critique reflects the high standards expected at elite levels.
Now if my man's putting a party on and saying, we ain't fighting unless all the crew come in, on fight night, he's an idiot. I don't know him personally, so I can't, but what I'm seeing is foolishness. How can you be so stupid? That's street mentality. This is world-class boxing.
Carl Froch tore into Dubois' pre-fight party behavior, emphasizing that boxing isn't entertainment, it's a brutal, high-risk sport. Fighters must be in battle mode, mentally and physically, to survive the ring. Froch warned that partying shows a dangerous lack of awareness and commitment, as boxers risk serious injury every fight. His scathing remarks underline the seriousness of the sport and the importance of discipline, focus, and respect for those guiding a fighter through their career.
Socialize. You're not in party mode, you're in fight mode. You're in, I could be walking to a certain death mode here. This is the hurt game. This is a dangerous, hard sport where people get seriously injured in there. And when you're fighting, you want to be in the mode of fight mode. Let's go. I'm going to battle. I'm going to war. I'm a fucking warrior. I'm going in there to do some damage and potentially getting some damage done to me.
Daniel Dubois expressed eagerness for 2026, calling out anyone willing to step in the ring. Whether it's Tyson Fury or another top contender, Dubois showed he's ready for action after his comeback. This statement demonstrates his confidence, hunger, and determination to cement himself as a serious force in a heavyweight division. Fans now anticipate an exciting year ahead, as Dubois looks to prove himself, re-establish momentum, and make a statement with his first fight of 2026.
Yeah, bring it on, I can't wait. If Frank makes that fight, then I'll be delighted. I'll jump at that opportunity. But yeah, whoever steps up, I'm ready. Can't wait to have our first fight of 2026.
Tony Sims highlighted just how hungry Daniel Dubois is for action, emphasizing that all he talks about now is getting a fight day and stepping back into the ring. Sims' observation shows that Dubois is fully focused, mentally locked in, and desperate to prove himself after a turbulent period in his career. This period marks an exciting phase for the heavyweight division, with top fighters likely to clash, creating high anticipation among fans. Dubois' commitment to fight demonstrates his resilience, drive, and readiness to re-establish his position among the elite heavyweights. For boxing enthusiasts, this signals that 2026 will be a thrilling year of big matchups, intense training camps, and career-defining moments, as Dubois looks to make a statement and capture the spotlight once more.
And like you said, he just wants a fight day. He's raring to go. It's all he talks about now. I want to get a fight day, get in the ring. It's going to be an exciting period for all the heavyweights now. I'm expecting to see a lot of the top heavyweights all fight each other.
Harlem Eubank praised Daniel Dubois' unwavering belief in himself, pointing out that Dubois shows no fear when facing any challenge.
I think Daniel, he's the type of fighter, he's got that belief, he's not scared of anything that's in front of him, and that is something that will hold you in good stead going.
Simon Jordan analyzed the potential Fury versus Dubois matchup, weighing it against a Fury versus Anthony Joshua scenario. He expressed concern over Joshua's vulnerabilities, pointing out that he struggles when struck cleanly, citing past performances against Franklin, Helenius, Wallen, and Enano. Jordan's insight underlines that Dubois' aggressive style could exploit weaknesses that Joshua has shown, making Fury versus Dubois a more intriguing and competitive matchup. This analysis also highlights the strategic considerations behind selecting opponents in boxing, where a fighter's style, past performances, and physical vulnerabilities can define outcomes. Fans are left debating the matchup possibilities, understanding that heavyweight clashes are not just about popularity but tactical matchups that can change the trajectory of a fighter's career. Jordan's comments frame the discussion around risk-reward and excitement in the heavyweight division.
In the camp for a year and a half that AJ's done, and said that as soon as someone lands one on him, he's going to have a problem. And you wouldn't have it, no one else would have it, and you used Jermaine Franklin, you used Robert Helenius, you used Otto Wallen, and you used Francis Ngannou. And I said to you, as much as I like Anthony Joshua, I think he's been a superstar for himself in certain aspects of the sport. If he gets a live one in there, I think he's going to get knocked out, which is what happened. So I don't want to see what happened to Deontay Wilder happening to Anthony Joshua.
Johnny Nelson weighed in on the anticipated clash, emphasizing that while there's no personal animosity between the fighters, it promises to be an exciting contest. He believes the fight may not go the distance, suggesting that Dubois' power and aggression could decide the outcome early. Nelson's perspective highlights the dynamic nature of heavyweight bouts, where momentum swings, mental fortitude, and raw punching power often dictate results. By sharing these insights, he also underlines that Dubois is a dangerous, proactive fighter who doesn't shy away from confrontation, making him a serious contender in any matchup. Fans are encouraged to anticipate explosive moments, dramatic exchanges, and high-stakes action as Dubois continues to establish himself as a prominent figure in heavyweight boxing.
Well, as long as he has to be to his opponent, and Daniel Dubois will say what someone's whispering in his ear. But these two guys, ain't no hate, don't bad blood there. But it'll be a good fight. I don't think it'll go the distance, and I'm looking forward to it.
Daniel Dubois' reunion with Don Charles isn't just a simple coaching change, it's a statement. After months of split, personal controversies, and public scrutiny, Dubois is back with a man who understands his mind, his style, and his hunger for success. Every expert, every analyst, and every fan now knows this decision was about focus, discipline, and reclaiming the glory days. With his mindset sharpened and his team reunited, Dubois is ready to take on the top heavyweights, prove his critics wrong, and chase the fights that matter most in 2026. Fans, this is the moment to stay tuned, watch every training update, and witness history in the making. Who do you want to see Dubois face next? Comment below, and let the debate begin.